guys, this is Steven here with another video on how to play some of my favorite puzzles. This one is on Fillominos. Fillominos can be of any dimensions, but in this example we have a 10 by 10. The grid is going to be divided into regions filled by polyominoes, and every cell must be covered. Each number in the grid represents the size of the region that it belongs to. So if you see a 4 cells must be connected together as one region, no more or no less. No two polyominoes of the same size may be adjacent to one another orthogonally. So if you have two 2's next to each other, you couldn't have two 2's right on top of one another as well. So they have to be separated. They could connect diagonally though. And not all polyomino clues are given. So there might be a hidden region that gets exposed as you go through the puzzle. So the rules seem a little convoluted, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to solve this puzzle for you guys so you see how it unravels, and share some common tips and tricks that'll make it easier for you to solve in the future. So the first thing that I do is I typically start along the edges and the corners because you're going to be most constrained in those areas. And you want to make sure that all the numbers have an escape path. And what I mean by that is if you look at this 3, we're going to start here. The 3 can't go up, right, because that's the edge of the board. Can't go left because there's a 5 that would have run into, and it can't go right. So therefore it has to come down like that. So there's 2 out of the 3 cells. There's going to be a third cell. Now we don't know if it's going to be here or here, but we actually don't. We know it's not going to be over to the right because that would block in this 5. So again, this 5 would need to escape. And it can't go up, can't go left, or can't go right, so it has to come down. And you can see same thing's going to happen here with this 3. This 3 has to come down, and this 4 has to come down twice like that. And actually this 3 has to come down a third time because it can't go left, can't go right, can't go up. So there's a third one, and that's completed this shape here. So I'm going to actually color that in so you guys can see that. So this shape is now completed. There's 3 cells conjoined or put together. This 4 here can come down one more, and that polyomino or tetramino, whatever you want to call it, is going to be filled in. And so we can color that. And so that's a good start, which brings me to my next tip is typically you want to look towards the smaller numbers and the largest numbers first, because those are going to be the easiest to solve, right? These ones already are complete, right? Those are islands, so we can actually color those in already. And then these 2's, anytime you see a 2 is pretty easy because you just need to find one more cell. And so for instance, this 2 here is along an edge, so we know it comes up, and that shape is now completed. And so that's why small numbers are really helpful, and then large numbers are helpful because you know that if there's limited space, that large number is going to take up a lot of it. So this 5 here, for instance, has to continue coming down, right? It has to have an escape route. Can't go left, can't go right. It's come from the north. So we're running out of room, so it's forced to come out this way. And there we go. That's 5 cells there, and that is completed. And what's nice about the large numbers is once you've solved those, you've taken up a lot of space for the other clues. So this 3 now has to bend over like that. And so we've completed the 3. Oops, let's make it consistent with the other colors. Now this 5, right, has to come out this way. There's no other way it can go. So it's trapped, and you can't trap in, right, like this 3 for instance. This 3 couldn't come up like that. You trap in this 5, essentially isolating it. And so that is something that brings me to my next tip, which is you can't isolate cells. So you have to be cognizant of that. This 2, for instance, wouldn't be able to come up because you'd isolate this 5, not giving it enough space to escape. So and lastly, what you want to look for is corners and then connection points. And so what I mean by connection points is like this 2 for instance. This 2 could not come down because then it would connect to this other 2, right? And that would then become a group of 4, or the 2 polyominoes of the same size would be right next to each other orthogonally, and that just is against the rule. So we know it doesn't come down, we know it can't go left, can't go right, so this 2 actually has to go up like that. So that's it for the tips and tricks. What I'm going to do is just continue to solve this puzzle, right? So this 5 comes out, and you'll see how it comes together. It's actually a really nice puzzle type. I really enjoy these a lot. So this 3 has to come down, but we don't know if it goes to the left or goes to the right or comes down, so we're not sure yet on that. We'll leave that alone and come back to it. Now this 2 has only one place to go. It can't go left, can't go right, can't go up. So that completes that. And we can color that in. And here is a connection point of 4s, right? This 4 here cannot come up, because otherwise it would connect with this other 4 and make it a size 6 region, or you'd have 2 polyominoes of the same size next to each other. So this actually creates an island of 1, and that is okay, even though it's right next to another one, because it's diagonal. That's allowed. It just can't orthogonally touch, and so hopefully that makes sense. So this 4 we know comes down, but we don't know. It could go to the left, could go down, so we'll come back to that. Let's finish this bottom corner again. Usually I've kind of been jumping around a little bit to share some of the tips and tricks, but usually what I like to do is start on one edge and go towards another edge or end and work my way around. So this 4 has to come up, and this 5 has to come up. This 2 could go either way, so we don't know on that one. All right. Let's see. All right. So this 4 could connect here, right? That would be okay. That would be allowed. But we don't know. I mean, there's could be a group of 4 here, and then a group. Oh no, actually couldn't. So these have to connect, right? So let's think about it. How would you do this if this would not connect, right? You'd have to have these 4 together because you have to keep these separated, and then you'd have 1, 2, 3, and then where does the 4th one go? It can't. So wherever you place this 4th one in the bottom polyomino, it's going to touch this top one. And so that's not possible. Therefore, it has to be here. Right? So that's a nice piece of logic there. We'll color that in. And does that help us at all? I don't know. Not really. Okay, so at this point, these 5 could come down like that, could come like this. Oh, this 3, let's think about where this 3 can go. So it can't go down, can't go right, can't go left, it has to come up. And this actually is as another tip. I didn't write it down, but this happens quite common, or is very common. And when you have 2 pieces adjacent to one another, you have to be very careful, because if I come up or if I come right, they're going to connect, and that can't happen, because then all of a sudden I'd have a group of 5, and that doesn't work. And same thing here. So what ends up happening is this area is kind of walled off, and if you could imagine, if I were to draw a border like this, maybe this is what I meant by corners. Yeah, so I did write it down. It's been a while since I wrote these notes. So this is what I'm referencing when I'm talking about a corner. So I've artificially created a corner because this 3 can't come up or to the right, and this 3 can't go to the left or go down. And so I've kind of created this artificial border to where this 3 is now going to have to turn, and this 3 is going to have to turn over here. There's no other way of doing it. Otherwise, these would collide with one another. And so let's color those in. We've completed that. And then I'll get rid of the borders. Okay, that's helpful now, because Because why? Let's think about this. So this 2, okay, so this, if this 2 comes down, we're going to create a problem, right? So if this 2 comes down like this to create a polyomino, this isolates the cell, right? The cell to the right would then have to be a 1, and it can't be because there's a 1 right above it. So this 2 can't come down, can't go to the right, can't go up, so therefore it has to come to the left, and that's okay because that's an island of 1, and that does not clash with that one. So let's color that in. This one. Perfect. Okay. So this is a little nook and cranny here. If you think about it, it's kind of constrained, right? Can't be a 1 because that would touch the 1 above it. Can't be a 2 because it would be forced to come out like that, and it would touch the 2 above it. So it can't be 1, can't be a 2, can't be a 3 because it would touch the triomino, or the 3 cell region below it and to the right. So it has to be a minimum of 4. Right? And see, if it could be larger, I don't think it can because it'll run into this 5. So let's say, hypothetically, if it was a 5, it would actually run into this other set of 5, and that'd be 6. So that doesn't work. And it can't be larger because there's not enough space. It has to be a 4, which fits very nicely in there. So we can color that in. And now this 5 is forced to go down like that. Well, it could come like this. No, it couldn't, because it would create a 1 down here, right? If you had the 5 like this, a 1 would fit in there okay, but a 1 would not work there, right? There's nothing else that could go there, so you'd isolate it. So the 5 is forced to be like that, and then this is a 2. So let's color in the 5. And then this is a 2 cell region, or a domino, if you want to call it. Alright, so we're making progress. So now this 2, right? This 2 can't come over to the left like this, creating that domino, because it would isolate this cell, making it a 1, and there's a 1 below that. So that does not work. So, oops. So this 2 can't come to the left, can't go up, can't go right, so it has to come down. And that forces this 4 then to look like that. So let's color those in. And now this, we're going to do the same process of elimination here where we kind of brute force it. Can't be a 1 because there's a 1 below it. Can't be a 2 because it would be forced to come out here and it would join up with this 2. Can't be a 3 because it would touch the 3s above and over to the left. Could it be a 4 if we went down like that? No, because then you'd isolate this cell. That would have to be a 1 and it would connect with those. So it can't be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Could it be a 5 if it went like this? It would connect. No, because you're going to run into the same problem. You connect with this other 5, you have a region of 5, and you've isolated this now. So it actually has to be 6 or larger. See, if it's a 6, it could fill that spot. No, it can't be a 6 because then it would be forced to go this way, right? That's only 5 cells. And it'd go to the right and connect with that one, and that'd be 7. 5, 6, 7. And so that doesn't work. So it actually has to be, I mean, it could be a 7 like that. Could also be an 8 because, well, it can't go that way. That would trap the 6 in if the 8th one was down here. So it could be 8. So let's do this. We know it's got to be greater than 6. And this is some of the notation that I use because it could, you know, when you get to the tougher ones, which are larger or more spread out, there's more space. You could have an 8 or a 9 or a 10 or 11, and sometimes you just don't know how big the region is. But I know that region is going to be at least 7, right? That's the smallest region it could possibly be. So I'm going to mark it as greater than 6. And then what would happen is this 5 would be forced to come down. And I think it's going to have to connect. It could come this way. Well, let's think about it. So if this was a 7 and it would stop there, this 5 would come out this way like this. No, because it's going to trap in the 6. So that would be 5, and then this 6 would have to come down. This 3 would have to come down. That 6 is going to be trapped. So the 5 can't come out that way. The 5 is going to have to connect here, either here or here. If it connects there, this is now going to be a region of 2, which can't work because there's already a domino above and below it of 2. And it can't be a 1 because there's a 1 there. So it must connect here, making that a 1. So that's a 1, and these are 5s, which we can color in. This 6 is going to have to come down. This 3 is going to have to come down to escape. This 6 is going to have to come down again. And it can't come, well, this 3 cannot come down another one because it would then connect with these 3s. So this 3 has to bend. And then this 4 has to come down here. So this 3 is completed. Let's color that in. This 3 cannot come up. Could come down though. Or it could be here. So that one of these is going to be a 3. We don't know which one yet. Let's think about this 6. So if it turns left, it's stuck, and then it has to turn right. That's 5. It has to come out again, and it connects with this 6, making it 7. So that doesn't work. It can't turn left. It's got to turn right, like that, and that's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's our 6. And there's not enough cells for those 6s to be separated, so they have to be together. And this 4 is forced, solving that 4, and I think we're going to figure this out here shortly. So now this 2 can't come up. Well, it could come up because then the 4 could come like that. The 4 can't, yeah, so the 4 can't come to the left because it would trap the 2, because then the 4 would have to either, you know, if it goes up 1 and down 1, that's 4, it would trap the 2, or if it came over, it came down, and it was a 4 like that. Either way, it traps the 2. So the 4 can't come over there, therefore that's the 2. And let's just copy paste that. Okay, and this here can't be a 3 because that wouldn't leave enough room for the 4. So that must be the 3, and this is the 4 here. So this big region is a 7. So let's go 7, 7, 7, like that, because there's your 5, 6, 7. We'll color that a purple. This 4 is complete. This 3 is complete. What color is 3? Green. And here we have a 2. So that's it. That is how you solve a Filomino, or I'm sorry, a Fillomino. I get them all confused. I just did a video on pentominos and lits, which is tetraminos, and there's domino. I just sometimes get them mixed up. But it's a Fillomino. Fillominos are fun. I enjoy them. I actually think this is one of my favorite types of puzzles. I just intuitively get it a little bit more than some of the others, where you're just trying to rotate and place the shapes in. So I feel like there's a little bit more logic here than intuition. So I enjoy them a lot. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.